What do you get when you cross a warden and a vampire? Frostbite. What's going on, YouTube? Update 45 literally starts tomorrow if you play on PC, and if you're watching this probably on Monday, because I'm recording this at midnight, it's already started for you. Or if you play on console, these are the things that you're going to want to do. Every time ESO releases an update, there's always a get-rich-quick scheme. Every update that comes out adds new things. These new things sell very quickly, very fast, to very rich players, and there's a huge market for players who don't even have access to a lot of stuff, meaning you don't have to be maxed out, you don't need to have a whole bunch of criteria met. A lot of new methods for you to do to get some gold. We're going to break those down in today's video, as well as the upcoming event, which doesn't have a start date, that will also be giving everybody a huge bonus to stolen goods. And this comes straight from the ESO patch notes, which I will link in the description for you, because there's a lot of stuff in it, but I'm focusing on this video on straight money. These are the things that you can do to make some money, and I'm going to be focused on the ones at the top here. You can see the very first thing: 9 new furnishing plans, which can be acquired via the Skin Grad rewards coffer, obtainable by completing the Westweld World Bosses, Incursion, or Delve Bosses. You might be thinking, Jake, where in the world is that? Well, it is literally right here, my friends. If you're inside of Skin Grad, it's just outside the Great Chapel of Julianos, and if you've never been to the Westweld area, it is over here on your mini map. You talk to these 3 hooligans, you have a chance to get Skin Grad rewards coffers. Now, there's always this conspiracy theory. Some people say it works, some people say it doesn't. I don't think it works anymore, but I think it used to. You used to be able to pre-farm these. So if you're on console, you could farm a bajillion Skin Grad rewards coffers, because you have until the 25th to do so. You could farm a whole bunch of them and then open them essentially when the event starts. You cannot do that, to my knowledge. It will not work, because once the update comes out, that's when they're officially added to the loot pool. Because I used to try this all the time with Rewards of the Worthy. Even if you left them in your mail, an update would happen, you'd pull them out of your mail, wouldn't work. So I don't think it works. However, if you were to pre-complete the quest across 20 characters, and then you were to just turn them in all at once, you'd be ready to go day one with a ton of rewards coffers, because these are relatively easy to do, and there's going to be tons of people doing that. You go out, complete the quest, you just don't turn it in, because once you've turned it in, now, and the server's been updated, update 45 has released, now the server is adding in the new items for you to get from here. And these plans, some of them are going to be worth millions of gold. This is why this is so lucrative. A lot of people are like, Jake, furnishing plans? Yes, furnishing plans. In Skin Grad, I mean, look at Skin Grad, it's beautiful. So a lot of people, they want access to, you know, the ability to make their houses look like Skin Grad, because it looks really nice. Therefore, these plans have been selling like hotcakes ever since they've added them, because this is not the first round of new additions that have come in. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, Jake, I'm not really a man that's interested in farming daily quests. But second thing here, new themed items will be added to Miramore Mosaics, which I actually did not know that's what these were called. But if you're like, Jake, what is that? That's your Miramore World Boss Incursion. It's basically if Malag Bal was really shiny and pretty and decided to invade using crystal fragments instead. So you can complete these to get some new items as well. Now you might think, Jake, how do I know which one's active? Boom! You want to look for the one with the swords going through it. That's how you know it's active. And if you farm a bunch of these, you may get access to the 6 new Miramore themed furnishing recipes exclusive to completing Miramore Mosaic. So it's a nice little fun thing that you can farm, get some access to neat stuff. Now, I will warn you, there are 14 new alien-themed recipes which can be found in Westweld, Gold Coast, Blackwood from bonus loot when excavating antiquities of intermediate or higher difficulty. Now, I had been trying to play test all sorts of ways to manipulate this. For example, I would farm the leads, get to an intermediary difficulty, and instead I would intentionally fail unless I got like a lot of bonus loot, and I still was not getting a lot of themed recipes. So it's probably going to be more luck based, But that means that if you do get these 14 new alien themed recipes, these are going to be worth probably the most of everything we've covered so far and we'll cover in this video. Because even I spent hours testing this because I thought it would be so cool if there's like a excavation and antiquities like gold method. I can make a video on it. That would be fantastic. And unless they change the odds for when it comes to the main console, place and PC and PlayStation, we're pretty SOL for getting these pretty consistently. Even if you intentionally dig up a bunch of bonus treasure, fail if you don't get a lot, and then farm the hole next to you because it'll respawn the dig hole. Try to get a bunch of bonus loot. If you do get a bunch of bonus loot, then excavate it. If not, fail, reset it, and repeat. But man, it's rare. Next up, we have some new things. Notably, it just seems like the Colovian bed and canopy can be obtained from monsters, containers, and more across Westworld. Where do you need to go for this? Well, it is a spot that literally at midnight, when nothing new has been added for many months, is still being farmed, and that is the Outcast Inn. If you see all these beautiful dressers here, right, and you think to yourself, man, I'm going to open all of these bad man pajamas, this is the spot for you, because you bring out Azander, he gives you bonus odds, then you open the store, go through a loading screen, hopefully you don't have too bad internet, go back inside, and then wham bam, thank you ma'am, you can loot all of the dressers again. So this is a fantastic method. It's going to be the go-to spot. Just make sure that you've got your champion point set up correctly. When we start talking to the part of the video about the thieving portion, we'll go down more of that specifically. But you want to have double furnishing plan odds. And thankfully, talk about it next, they're actually making some green CP changes that are very helpful. But to finish off here, I want to talk about these 7 new RIP plans. You could buy these, probably not going to be worth a crazy amount of money. Ironically, everything above it is probably going to be worth more. The thing that's worth the most, alien themed recipes. Then below that, I think the 9 new plans from Skingrad rewards coffers. Then below that, I think the Miramore mosaics. And then finally, we have the bed canopy and the bed, and then all the way, at the very, very bottom, the RIT furnishings. Just because, like, there's no RNG. There's no, like, ooh, I got to sit and do this to get it. And unfortunately, like, beds and canopies are not known for being valuable, or else I would say, yeah, those would probably be a little bit higher, but that's probably where they're going to fall, unfortunately. And boom, one of the notable changes is meticulous deassembly, plentiful harvest, treasure hunter, rationer, liquid efficiency, homemaker, professional upkeep, infamous, and cut purse art. Those are all going to be non-slottable. You can just have these open, put the champion points in them. You don't have to waste one of your slots on your champion point bar. Those of you confused, you have to actually pick which things go on the bar. You can see right now, I don't have homemaker on because not been doing a bunch of stuff. I've been doing a lot of fishing instead. So I've had to literally put homemaker not on the bar. I could swap them out for free. The problem is that notoriously it would be like, okay, well, I'm going from one type of content to another type of content. So now I have to flip around and start flipping all these things. But now a lot of these are going to be passive, and therefore you don't have to consistently be worrying about going through and flipping them on and off, because you can only put 4 for each of the different, trees on, which is kind of restrictive for a lot of the green ones, which you generally always just want to have. Another fun little addition that's going to be coming at some point. I don't have a specific start date. I don't know if it's just going to be with like the release of console, which is usually when they do these mini events. They don't usually do one on PC, and then when console does it, then do another, week or 2 week period on console. So I suspect it's probably going to be the end of March, but we'll have to see. But there's quite a lot of things. Now, all of you who are like, Jake, I hate selling stuff. It's stupid. I don't want to use a guild trader. Well, this is literally the thing for you, because during the event, the number of daily fenced interactions are increased by 100%, and you get 25% more profit. That is, the items sold to a fence do so for 25% more. If it was 100 gold, it's 125 gold, etc. Additionally, Dark Brotherhood and Thieves Guild dailies provide an additional box of their normal rewards, except the infinite repeatable ones. You can't continuously do those. Furthermore, activities Pickpocketing, theft from safe boxes, looting thieves guild troves have a chance to drop a pouch of ill-gotten goods. These pouches contain sellable contraband, furnishings, Dark Brotherhood, or Thieves Guild consumables, a new consumable item to improve your Ledgerman skill, which is crazy, and a very small chance to find a 1 million gold bounty pardon, which is actually hilarious. And I really wish that that's going to be sellable, but I suspect that it won't. It will not be. It's the chance of finding a pouch of ill-gotten goods is proportional to your current level of bounty and heat. That is, an upstanding citizen has a low chance of getting one, but the more of a fugitive you are, the better. And there are no event tickets during this event, but there's a lot to break down. Let's actually start with the champion point stuff, because yes, there's some champion point shenanigans you're going to want to build into. Out of sight will probably help you a lot. Unless you go the straight murder route, there is a way. I mean, we'll talk about it, but like, there's a way you could do this without stealth at all, where you just start killing people and raising your bounty, and you just do it in places with no guards. I'm always a fan of Gilded Fingers. It increases your gold gain by 2% per stage. This will increase your safe box return as well as any chests you might find. Little extra speed inside a sneak is always nice. Increased additional 25% value defenses, always good. When you use the Blade of Woe, you become invisible. Helpful as well, and increase the chance of getting higher quality loot while pickpocketing. I guess you could say this is helpful. I don't think this is probably one of the more non-helpfully ones. It's a little more situational. I mean, and generically too, like, yes, Stead's Blessing is also really good as well as Sustaining Shadow. But don't really worry about a lot of these, because you're not really going to be adding a whole lot. For example, like, yes, being able to go invisible after the Blade of Woe is neat, but it's also certainly not essential to do what we're going to be doing. And the very first place that I like to suggest to people is actually inside of Evermore. It's actually an unmarked area, but if you go in this area inside of Banker Eye, which is just over here on your map, this is a free-to-play area, so don't you worry. You're going to notice that there's quite a few yellow as well as green people. Now, green people are unkillable. Why they decided that this random hooligan is unkillable, I do not know, but you'll notice that there's quite a few people marked as nobles inside this area, as well as soldiers. Now, I love pickpocketing these people or just straight up killing them, because they notoriously have really good loot inside of them. And you may notice something interesting about where we are, and that's there's no guards that are unkillable, which means that if you get fed up with getting caught constantly and you wanted to build up that bounty meter, there's nothing stopping you from just mass murdering all of these nobles, picking up all of the higher end loot that you're going to get from them off of their corpses, and kind of going from there. Now, it is still logistically the best if you pickpocket somebody twice and then Blade of Woe them. That'll give you the maximum amount of items per person, and then you will have reset them, and then they'll respawn. But overall, when it comes to killing nobles, you're going to be getting higher quality items that sell for more. So this is probably the spot to go to, in my opinion, when it comes to lootable areas. But I will be doing a dedicated video to this, because there's a lot of different angles you could tackle this, like just turning a character into like a mass murderer who just lays waste to whole cities and you know, just doesn't care if he gets caught. There's the stealthy angle of it. There's the farming of daily quests. So we're going to talk a little bit more in this video, but it will get its own dedicated video. And now my next favorite spot is actually inside of Ebonheart, which is inside of Stonefalls, right over here up on the stock, because everybody is just facing away and you can pickpocket them. Wait a moment, as they are currently suspicious. Pickpocket them again, hit him with the old razzle-dazzle Blade of Woe. And then after the animation finishes, boom, got your third item. And there's literally an entire dock of these people facing the wrong direction. Now, there is a guy that moves. He's over here, so that's notable. And some of these people do kind of face each other. Just be careful over here with the smuggler, because they're kind of facing around. But you could see too, we've got chests and other things in this area, as well as lootable barrels, all sorts of good stuff. But you'll notice that what's interesting about this is we're not building up our caught meter, because you'll notice that if you wanted to get the ill-gotten good stuff, you're not really getting caught in this area. That's why I think I need to put a little more brain power into where exactly you should be going during this event, because there's the there's some of you, and let me know in the comments, how many of you are just going to sacrifice a character, make him have like 1,000,000 gold bounty, and just kind of like just let him sit with like pages of stolen goods that you funnel through and sell each day, versus how many of you want to do like this tactful, like, tee, I'm not getting caught here, but I'm also getting a lot of pickpocketed stolen goods. Because these are the two areas that I would focus on for me, but there's a lot more that I'll highlight as well too, because if there are a lot of people in these areas, you're going to have to go to different ones. But for me, it's Ebonheart inside of Stonefalls, and then over at another free-to-play area, which is just this unmarked castle inside of Evermore, inside of Bankrite. These are the two kind of like methods that I would use. If you want to be the mass murderer, go in there, kill all the nobles, like you get tons of good loot, or the tactful route of going fishing. Or you can always do daily quests, don't forget too. You don't have to actually do, you know, specific thieving in the overworld. You can do the daily Dark Brotherhoods as well as the Thieves Guild type stuff too. But everyone, thank you guys so much again for watching. I do just want to point out that we will have add-ons for console, but we don't know which ones. So as far as like, Jake, how are add-ons going to affect the market? Well, it depends on what ones we get. We might just have like pee-pee poo-poo ones, which don't do anything helpful. We also might have easy crafting writs, which would be phenomenal and make the game significantly easier, would also kind of change the ESO economy, inflate it in different ways. So that's going to be its own thing, but I need more information on what we're getting, which consoles will have access to it, and so on and so on. So we'll see, but I do just want to thank you guys so much again. As always, we're doing our 3 giveaway drawings. We're less than 20 subs away from our next goal. So if you're subscribed, you're entered into 1 drawing. Second thing is that you're entered for every like and comment you leave on a video. And the third thing is just look for a hidden word be flashed upon the screen. If you're the first person to find and comment that word, you will win. One of you guys also correctly guessed my favorite dungeon, which is actually Black Drake Villa. It's one of the first dungeons to add like cool secret side mechanics. The mechanics of the dungeon felt fun. All the hard modes felt like really unique for all the bosses. So I just really like Black Drake Villa as a concept. The sets there were good. So that's actually my personal favorite. But everyone, have a great Monday. Enjoy the time. I'll probably be streaming because I think drops are going to be enabled for update 45, and I'll catch you there. Bye, guys.
You better remember to like and subscribe to Jakeclips. Or you should. I might have to pluck your eyes if you don't. Or, better yet, I'll skip rope with your entrails. Do it now. Subscribe. Ta-ta. Off with you.